Hello and welcome back to Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. Last time we took on, I think, a Baleful Giganox. And today we are going to be doing an urgent quest called, I don't know what it's called, but we do have a big monster we're going to fight today. And by big, I mean huge. Yes, that's right, we're taking on Jhen Mohran today. And so, if you don't know what a Jhen Mohran is, it is an absurdly big monster that, for whatever reason, can swim through sand. It's like a giant Delex that, well, is a lot harder to kill. And this is going to be a long quest, too. And so, it's 15 minutes of fighting this guy on the, I guess it's called the sand ship, and another 15 actually fighting him legitimately. However, if you are overpowered, like I kind of am, there is a way to do enough damage to him and actually trigger the final battle early, but that's very difficult to do. So we're just going to go over the basics. Jhen Mohran, usually this quest opens up with a really cool looking cutscene, but this is a Jhen Mohran. As you can see, he is enormous. Like, I think even bigger than the Sadeas if you measure from tusk to tail. And he likes to do that. So whenever he does that sort of motion for that attack, guaranteed at least one rock is going to be aimed at your current position. And when you're starting out, you can't reach him, obviously, as you can see here, except for either the ballista or the cannonballs, which you'll get a brief demonstration on how those work in a few moments. But I was basically trying to remember how to fight this guy. It's been forever, but it used to be that this guy was an online quest only in Monster Hunter Tri. And so that was my first experience with this behemoth of a monster. And I think I'm going to be getting over to the cannonball here shortly. I don't even remember what I did, really. Oh, I think I'm going to use an example. There are 3 weapons that you can use against Jhen Mohran to prevent him from damaging your ship. That was one of them. That was called the Hunting Gong, and that was not the time to use it. See, what the Jhen Mohran will do is that he will take chunks out of the ship, and he will just slowly do damage over time, and if he does too much, it's game over. And so that is one of 3 weapons to prevent him from doing increased damage to the ship. And this is an interesting thing because not many large monsters allow you to do this, but since this guy is giant and an Elder Dragon, you know, there's exceptions. You can actually jump onto this guy with some of the worst physics that this particular game even has to offer. And you're going to get a pretty good dose of how bad the physics are on top of the Jhen Mohran. And if you look there, he has all sorts of stuff on him, mining spots, breakable parts. But this is what I'm doing right now. I'm setting up an anti-dragon bomb. I think those just detonate on their own, or you have to use some sort of maybe small barrel bomb. But I just set it and forget it, and I move on. And so this is one of the Jhen Mohran's weak points, as well as one of the breakable parts that it has. And so by doing enough damage to it, you'll literally break a hole through the Jhen Mohran. You're only on top of him for a limited number of times, and when he starts to sort of idly shake, and you might have just saw a brief bit of it right there, but when he starts to idly shake and not attack, that means he's getting ready to throw you off. But if you make him flinch, odds are that's going to reset the pattern that he does it, or at least give you a little bit more time to either jump off him onto the ship or get thrown off into the sand. And I think also that was right there too was him kind of shaking a little bit. And so yes, you can mine those mining spots while you're on his back, but it's better if I find that you just do as much damage as you can possible, because this guy takes a ton of abuse, even with how equipped I am right now for this particular hunt. Even then, like, it still draws out into the final battle stage. And so now we get to phase 2 here, and the Jhen Mohran is going to do something completely absurd. Watch. Whee! the fuck a monster that size is able to literally jump an entire ship? You know, that was out of cartoon physics right there. Like, seriously. So the Genmaran is going to do... There's actually two different options that it has to do. It can either charge the ship, or it can do sort of like a belly flop. In this particular video, he's going to do the belly flop. And if he does the belly flop, then he's going to charge right after. But if he doesn't do the belly flop and he just charges, then he'll do the belly flop at the very end before the final battle. That was just something that I noticed before. And this is the time you use the hunting gong. It was actually at this moment right here. Because, well, now the ship just took a good chunk of damage, and I get to feel stupid for using the freaking hunting gong too soon. And so now he's going to go back into the sand, and when he comes out, he's going to charge the ship. That is the time to use the second item, which is the Ballista Binder. And I think I actually made a mistake, because I thought I had something else equipped. Yes, okay. I made the mistake, and I thought the whetstones, because I saw it at a glance, was the Ballista Binder. But this is what the Ballista Binder does. It stops him in his tracks, and it allows you to get in quite a few free hits. The Ballista Binder lasts a little bit, and by the way, all these have a recharge rate. So just like the Dragonator with the Sideus, these can be reused, but you just gotta wait a little while. And this actually gives you your second opportunity to get on the Genmaran's back, assuming you don't get hit by this. And yeah, the Delix is pretty much, let's be honest here, they fucked me over on that regard. So you can literally roll through that attack and not get hurt. And those arrows, if you didn't see them before, that's pretty much your indication, meaning that you can jump onto the Genmaran at this point. I, however, am not. And so we're just gonna wait around, watch a little bit, have some fun. Hi, Genmaran. How you doing? Looks kind of cuddly, doesn't he? And just, I don't know what to say here. I should have really just jumped on him and broken a few more parts of that he has. By the way, I should mention, because I was about to get into it, but I forgot, obviously. But if you get thrown off and you hit the sand and you're falling behind the sand ship, you will automatically be tethered back onto the sand ship, and you'll start making your way back to the base, or the back end of it. And all you have to do is press A to climb back onto the ship. So falling off isn't a big problem. It's a time waster, but it shouldn't be that bad. And that is the power of the Elatrion Longsword, which, by the way, the Genmaran is weak to Dragon, and I think the other one is Ice. But I'll say it right now, there's a high chance that you will not defeat a Genmaran your first go around. This is a Slay or Repel quest, so since this guy is just so big and he has so much health, it's understandable that, especially where you're at right now probably, that you can't actually kill him. And it's okay, so long as you're able to repel him, it's perfectly fine. And I believe the Genmaran's gonna get ready to do his little throw off. I believe that's the motions that he makes. And there goes one of his tusks. So you can break both tusks, you can break the two arms, and you can also break the two sections of scales that are on his back and punch a hole through his entire body. And the second time around, when we could jump on him, you'll see exactly how bad the physics are. Like, it almost gets comical. And speaking of bad physics, yeah, there's the hunter just can roll right through a solid object. Collision detection? What's that? Oh. Okay, so this is the motion that he's going to do to throw something off. I can never get the motion right the first time. He's just big and kind of goofy, standing there with his one tusk, and the other one's just a stump. And now he's gonna go back into the ground, and then he's gonna perform, I guess, I want to say his most serious attack. I wouldn't say ultimate attack because that would imply that he's actually powerful. What the Genmaran is gonna do now is he's gonna charge the ship. And that's when you use the Dragonator, which is that button right up there. Whatever you do, do not press it yet, because we'll get into that here in a moment. And so what the Genmaran is going to do, he's going to be out there for a little bit, and then he's going to fire 3 more rocks, and they're going to hit the front of the ship. So you don't want to be in front of the ship, like at all. All right, he's going to go back into the sand. And the time when you use the Dragonator is the second time he pops out of the ground. So watch carefully. So here he starts coming for you. He's going to go back down. 1. And 2. When you see him come out again, that's your cue to use the Dragonator. Because not only is that the optimal time, but the amount of damage that the Dragonator does to the Genmaran depends on how much the Dragonator literally goes into its body. And so cycle 1 is going to repeat itself, and then he's going to fly over the ship again, and then we're going to go into the final battle. And by the way, yes, you can jump on his back when he's trying to get... well, when he's coming out of the ground, which I think is really cool. Now, when you get to this part, and on the other side of his body, see, right out, look at that. Look at those physics. Those physics are god-awful. The collision detection is hilariously bad, and holy shit. This is a common occurrence, and especially if you're on that particular side of the Genmaran's body. So that's why I actually like going to this side and attacking as opposed to the other side. Just because it's, in terms of battling the physics, it's safer. And so oh yes, I don't think the timer that he has is not nearly as long for the second time that you could, or technically this is the third time that you can jump on his body. So I think I get knocked off, yes. Okay. Oh, I must have made a mistake. I don't remember exactly every little thing that I've done in this particular video. I should have actually rewatched it first. But this video is like 20 minutes long. That's how long this battle is gonna take you, most likely. Unless this is your first time, and then it's probably gonna take you the full 30 minutes. And what happened here? I don't remember. Okay, yeah, that seems to be. But we get to see exactly what's going on here. So when the hunter is grabbing onto the rope, you actually don't need to touch any buttons. It's only when you get to the end of it do you need to press like A or something like that in order to actually get onto the ship. Alright, and now back onto the ship, the Genmaran, as you can see, he is trying to throw nothing off. And we're going to be entering the final battle here very, very shortly. He's going to try to show off again by jumping over the ship. And then I think he's going to be on the other side. He's going to dig into the ground once more. And then we can start the final battle. And you'd think you'd see some sand displacement. But no, like, the sand is acting as though it's really water. And how is Genmaran keeping up with a sand ship? It's just... I'm surprised. Oh, okay, so... in this case, he isn't going to come back up for a moment and then go back down. I thought he did. Okay, and that was just weird. Where he just... as you saw, he just kind of pops out of the ground. But, if you're in a group of very good hunters... it is very possible to kill the Genmaran while he's way the hell out here. And if you do that, you can't get any carves off of him, which is nuts. And so right there was the invisible wall, indicating the actual limit of this map. And so you can still go ahead and try to break the the last horn if the Genmaran's low enough. But in this case, you want to primarily go for the 2 arms because you're still defending the sand ship. The sand ship is protecting a city that is, well, you can't see it, but the sand ship is now poised as sort of a barrier, and the Genmaran is trying to cross it. And the Genmaran's still going to do damage, so the more you can make this monster flinch and keep him away from the ship, see, you can see the ship back there, the more you can keep your ship safe, and you can actually win this a lot faster. And so this music here is actually really cool. It kind of gives you an epic climactic showdown like music, and complete with breakable parts. So the weakness of the Genmaran is actually in his mouth, and if I remember correctly, that's one of the places where you really want to put the anti-dragon bombs is in the mouth. But the only way you could do that is if you use the hunting gong to stun him. Because if you do that, he'll just sort of cry out in agony, and then he'll fall to the ground for a little bit. Now, I don't remember if there is a secondary way you can do it. I don't think there is, where you can knock the Genmaran on the ground. But I wouldn't worry about that. I would worry more about keeping the sand ship, the sand ship safe. And obviously, this shouldn't be something I should tell you, but you know, keep a lot of whetstones on you, because you're going to lose a lot of sharpness against this guy. He's just going to whittle through your weapons at the strength like no tomorrow. And also, if you have Cha-Cha and Kayamba on with you like I do, now, number 1 is don't have Cha-Cha search for shit like he's doing now. I don't know why he's searching for shit, but he should be, you know, fighting. But I would strongly recommend having dances that heal and increase your attack power. I would say defense power, but at this point you should know to upgrade your armor to a reasonable point, as well as keep plenty of potions on you. So the attack damage, what that's going to do for you in this case is it's going to increase the speed of which the Genmaran is either going to die or it's going to flee. Because you have to take down, I think, around at least 70% of his HP before he's able to flee. Don't quote me on that number, I'm just estimating. And also, he does tend to speed up a little bit if he's really wanting to go for the ship. But that gives you an opportunity to use the Dragonator for a second time, which will change the music, which is epic. And you're going to see that right here, right now. So just gotta wait for this guy to get in position. And what is he doing? Okay, he's gonna do his belly flop. And nope. Yeah, I don't want to ever get near that thing when it is still spinning or very sharp and pointy. Especially after it just went into a monster. That'd just be nasty. And I think time is coming up. Ah, right there. So that's actually the same animation when he falls over stunned. Now it used to be that this monster still had a hitbox. So getting all the carves off this monster was, honestly, it was next to impossible. But if you're fast enough, it is possible. But not if you had something like feline or one of the carving abilities to give you an extra carve or something like that. I don't know, but you could carve over by the arm and inside the mouth. And so you got to be quick. And another way you could be quick is if you crouch and carve, because there is less frames of the hunter going back to stand up. So it allows you to continue carving a little bit faster than if you started carving from a standstill. So that was Jhen Mohran. And as you can see, holy crap. He's just so massive. Not very huggable. Rarest item on this monster, I think, is like a Moran gem or something like that. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you again next time when we take on another monster. Take care, people.